After helping hundreds of people be able to reach their health and fitness goals and also get off their medications for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and also reversing their type 2 diabetes, it all boils down to this. What is your strong why? It can't be surface level. That's not going to work, right? In order for you to be successful when it comes to reaching your health and fitness goals, you have to focus on what is that strong, deep-rooted why. And that's why in today's presentation, we're going to be going over the top 3 techniques to help you remember what your why is. Now, before we dive into those top 3 techniques, let's first identify what is the difference between having a strong why and a surface level why. Having a strong why, this is what's going to lead to having unshakable motivation. A strong why is an emotionally charged, deeply meaningful, and connected to your identity or loved ones. It taps into pain versus pleasure, and it creates a strong emotional anchor that keeps you going no matter what. Here are some examples of strong whys. I refuse to let my kids see me as weak or unhealthy. I want to be their role model and play with them without getting exhausted. I watched my father struggle with diabetes, and I won't let that happen to me. I will break the cycle of poor health in my family. I want to feel proud of the man I see in the mirror and regain my confidence so I can live life fully without regrets. Now, why it works is because it's emotionally powerful, making it harder to ignore. It's connected to your identity, shaping who you become. It helps you push through the struggles because failure means losing something important, like your health, confidence, family time, or maybe just self-respect. Now, the opposite of having a strong why is a surface level why, and that's ultimately having weak motivation. A surface level why is shallow and externally driven. It sounds good, but it doesn't create any emotional connection deep enough to keep you committed long term. Examples of having surface level whys is, I want to lose weight just to look better. I want to get fit for summer. I should work out because it's healthy. Now, why this fails is because these goals lack personal meaning and are easy to be abandoned. There's no deep emotional connection, so when motivation fades, the goal is easily ignored. It's driven by external validation, trying just to impress others, rather than internal purpose. Now, the key difference is the emotional connection. That's once again going to lead to lasting motivation. A surface level why sounds good, but falls apart under pressure. A strong why hits deep emotional triggers that make quitting not an option. How to turn a surface level why into a strong why? We can simply use, I want to lose weight to look good, which is once again, surface level. All we have to do is focus on, how do we get that more emotional? How do we get that more deep and making that a strong why? Well, you can switch it up and simply say, I want to lose weight so I can feel confident again, be a better role model for my kids, and prevent the same health issues that run in my family. Now that's a strong why. Now let's dive into the top 3 techniques to always help you remember what your strong why is. I'm going to just go over them real quick for you right now, the top 3, and then we're actually going to break them down and give you a step-by-step plan to follow to help you with this. So number 1 is visualize the end result daily. Take about 5 minutes every morning, close your eyes, and picture yourself at your goal. How does it feel to be leaner, stronger, more confident, maybe full of energy? See yourself in that moment. How do you feel? What are you doing? This mental practice reinforces your purpose. The second technique is the emotional anchoring, and this is where pain is going to be versus pleasure. So for example, you want to write down what happens if you do nothing. Let's just say in the next 5, 10, 15 years of you continuing to not exercise, not strive to become the best version of yourself, not work on your mindset, not eat properly. Well, potentially that's just going to make your life a lot harder for you. And that could lead to some serious pain. That could lead to high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes. That could lead to also having just a shorter life expectancy. There's a lot of pain to that. Now, when you have that pain running out, you also want to write out the opposite, right? The pleasure. So what happens if you stay committed? What happens if you do work out? What happens if you do, eat properly for your body type? What happens if you do, focus on working on your mindset and all these habits that's helping you progress just to become the best version of yourself? So for example, if I give up, I stay overweight, embarrassed, and unhealthy. But if I push through, I became a strong role model for my kids. Keep this note visible. And the third technique, and in my opinion, this is by far the number one driving force for success when it comes to you being successful at reaching your health and fitness goals. It's having the right form of accountability and community. You need to have that support, plain and simple. Surround yourself with people who are going to push you towards your goal, whether it's a coach, workout partner, or a supportive group. External accountability keeps you on track. Now let's look into the neuroscience of motivation and purpose. Studies show that having a clear and meaningful why activates the dopamine system, which enhances your motivation and goal-directed behavior. You can see here that in 2012, a study published in Neuron found that dopamine levels increases when people have a strong personal reason behind their actions. This helps them stay consistent even when obstacles arise. Another study in Frontiers in Psychology in 2017 found that self-determined motivation, like having a purpose-driven goal, leads to better habit formation and long-term adherence to exercise programs. So what does this mean for you? The more personal and emotionally connected you are towards your health and fitness goals, the more your brain releases motivation-boosting chemicals that reinforces habits and also help you just keep pushing forward. And most importantly, staying consistent on your health and fitness journey. Now let's look into the power of emotion, the pain versus the pleasure on behavior change. The brain is wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure, a concept based on the pain-pleasure principle in psychology. Studies on self-determination theory show that when people attach deep emotional meaning, such as fear of poor health or the joy of living longer, they are significantly more likely to maintain behavior that those who rely on external motivation, like just wanting to get six-pack abs, are. A study in health psychology in 2013 found that people who were focused on health-related fears and benefits were 2.6 times more likely to adhere to fitness and nutrition plans. So what does this mean for you? If you consistently remind yourself of what you'll lose if you give up and what you'll gain if you stay committed, your brain will push you towards the right direction and decisions even when motivation fails. Now, the role of accountability and community in goal achievement. Social support and accountability significantly increases the likelihood of success in achieving long-term health and fitness goals. A study from the American Society of Training and Development found that you have a 65% chance of completing a goal if you commit to someone else. But if you set up regular accountability check-ins, your success rate jumps up to 95%. Research in obesity reviews in 2020 found that group-based fitness programs result in higher long-term adherence than self-guided plans. Community support enhances consistency, motivation, and mental resilience. So what does this mean for you? If you have an accountability partner or a coach or a community supporting your goals, you are significantly more likely to stay committed and follow through even when life gets tough. Let's go back to those top 3 techniques that we talked about earlier, and here's how to do them with a step-by-step process. For visualizing the end result daily, your mind responds to what you consistently focus on. By mentally experiencing your success, you create a stronger connection towards your goals. Step number 1 is to find a quiet place each morning and make sure that you are not checking your phone before you're doing this. Step number 2 is to close your eyes and take deep breaths to clear your mind. Step 3 is to see yourself at your goal. Imagine stepping on the scale, seeing a leaner body in the mirror, wearing well-fitted clothes, having boundless energy, or playing with your kids without getting tired. For step number 4, you want to feel the emotions, the pride, the confidence, the strength. Let those feelings really sink in. And step number 5 is to open your eyes and affirm, I'm becoming this person. Every choice today moves me closer. And pro tip, save a transformation photo, either of yourself or an inspiration, as your phone's wallpaper. This keeps your goals top of mind throughout the course of the day. For the emotional anchoring, this works because the human brain avoids pain and seeks pleasure. Tapping into both creates a powerful pull towards your why. Step number 1 is to take out a notebook or just open up your notes app on your phone. Step 2 is to write down 2 things. 1 is going to be the pain. What happens if you do nothing? If you quit, you'll stay overweight, feel tired all the time, struggle with health issues, feel ashamed at how you look, and then write out the pleasure. What happens if you stay committed towards your workout and your nutrition plan? If I stay consistent, I'll feel strong, look great in my clothes, inspire my kids, and have unlimited energy. Step 3 is to read this list every morning before starting your day. Keep it somewhere visible, on your fridge, in your gym bag, or as just a reminder on your phone. And pro tip, whenever you feel like skipping a workout or eating junk food, read your pain versus pleasure list. Read it out loud. Remind yourself what's at stake. For accountability and community support, This works simply because it's willpower that's going to eventually fade. But having people who are going to hold you accountable, this is what's going to keep you locked in and staying on track with reaching your health and fitness goals. Step number 1 is to find an accountability partner or a group. Maybe it's a workout buddy or an online coaching program or a community of like-minded individuals who are on the same mission to becoming the best version of themselves, just like you. Step 2 is set a commitment check-in. Whether this is daily, you're sending a quick text or photo of your workout to your accountability partner or your group, or maybe it's just weekly. Whether that's a coaching call or posting an update to your support group with how you're doing and how you're progressing. Step number 3 is to make your commitment public. Don't be afraid to tell your friends, your family members about your health and fitness goals. Don't be afraid also to celebrate your wins and share them on social media as well as you're going through this journey. You never know who that you're going to be inspiring through the process of you becoming the best version of yourself. And step number 4 is to celebrate the small wins. Every 5 pounds lost or maybe every week of consistent workouts deserves a reward. Maybe that's going to your favorite restaurant, buying something nice, or just doing a fun activity. Now, pro tip, join a group coaching program with built-in accountability, just like Heartletics. It's much easier to stay committed when others are pushing you forward. And just always remember this, motivation, it doesn't last. It's gonna fade, but discipline keeps you going. If you practice these 3 techniques daily, you won't need motivation. You'll have a deep, unshakable why that keeps you locked in on your goal. Having a strong why is what led to Chris losing 25 pounds in 90 days and getting 6-pack abs. Having a strong why is what led to Greg losing 30 pounds in 90 days and also getting off his blood pressure medications. Having a strong why is what led to Santo losing 50 pounds in 90 days without cutting out any of his favorite foods. Having a strong why is what helped Brian lose over 85 pounds in 6 months, even with having a crazy work schedule. Having a strong why is what helped Mark lose over 90 pounds in 6 months without having a background in exercising and working out, and he never really grew up playing sports. And having a strong why is what also helped John lose over 150 pounds in 6 months. At the end of the day, you can either have results or you can have excuses, but you can't have both. And when you're reminding yourself what your strong why is, that's going to help you overcome any kind of excuse. The final takeaway is this. Your strong why is going to lead you to being more consistent. And at the end of the day, consistency is key. That's what's going to lead to you being successful on your health and fitness journey. Science proves that having a strong why activates your brain's motivation, dopamine. It triggers emotional drivers that help you stick to habits, strengthens discipline by reinforcing pain versus pleasure, and keeps you accountable and dramatically increases your success rate. Without a strong why, motivation will eventually fade away. But when your why is clear and deeply personal, you develop the discipline to stay committed no matter what.